How many people are in your class, Lana?
88.
88.
No, I'm sorry. It's 50. It's 50. I was thinking of the CM1. It's 50 some odd.
Out of 50 or 80, I'm just looking at all you people. The chances, the probabilities of one of you becoming an estimator, like him or me, is probably less than 10%. Less than 10%. Everybody wants to go be a project manager, a superintendent, or straight to be the vice president of whatever. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, just not that many people become real estimators. Now, there's a lot of people out there that say they're estimators, but they're not. They're pretty darn important in the construction business because they're the ones that are really setting the tone for everything, the tip of the arrow, tip of the spear, whatever the heck you want to call it. Right? Because without a good estimate, can you have a good project? But he said no. But have you ever had good projects that were bad estimates?
I don't recall one.
Every now and then you can figure that out. But yeah, we always insist that we have good estimates going into projects. That's one of the reasons why we do Construction Manager at Risk. Have you talked to them about alternative delivery methods?
They have a quiz on the delivery methods.
Okay, so you have that quiz coming up. The thing about alternative delivery methods is that some of them don't allow you to do the prep work in order to get to the starting point. If it's a sealed competitive proposal or a bid, in other words, you have a big set of plans and specs, and you have to digest it like drinking out of a fire hose. You have a limited amount of time. You have to get prices. You have to do all these things, and you come up with a number, and you start crossing your fingers because there's 10 other ones that are doing the same thing, and at the end of that term, they're going to open them up, read them out loud, and guess what? Biggest mistake wins. Right? That was the way projects were delivered for 3/4 of my career. It hasn't been until the last 10 years that we started doing this CMR, or negotiated, or integrated team. We call it the same. Integrated team, where we're all three, design, owner, contractor, working together. Where you have a period of pre-construction, where you can do multiple estimates. You build a basis. You gather information. You have access to the design team to get their intent. Because they're drawing stuff on a paper, or modeling stuff in a computer. And what we're supposed to be smart enough to do is what? We're going to have to put a cost to it, but we got to know what they want. And sometimes all we're seeing are these boxes or colors of stuff, and so it's their intent that they're trying to draw or put in a computer model, and then we're supposed to know what it costs. For a long time, intent was a big argument amongst contractors and designers. He has a saying, well, if you have a line, it means something. And he's right. So it's his job to figure out what every little line on a two-dimensional plan means. Because they wouldn't have put it there if it didn't mean something. What's the role of the project manager? Project manager. When you all decided to come to University of Houston and get into the College of Technology and study construction management, you told your parents, yeah, I'm going to U of H and I'm going to study construction. What was the response? What? What? You're going to go to college and then you're going to go out there and dig ditches, pull wire? I mean, that's the perception that most people out there, they have no clue what we do. What would your response be back to your dad? Especially if he's paying your bill. Maybe he's not paying your bill. I am going to do what? I'm going to manage these projects. You're seeing what managers doing firsthand. Sometimes they got to be the superintendent. Sometimes they got to be the accountant. Sometimes they got to be a policeman. Sometimes they got to be whatever. You never know what you're going to get into. But you have the ultimate responsibility of the management of the project. What is the role of the superintendent?
Manage the site.
Manage the site. Well, with the project manager, is like you, the Health and Biomedical Sciences, we got a project executive out there, we got a project manager out there, we got another project manager out there, we got another project manager, we got an MP coordinator, we got a superintendent, we got an assistant superintendent, we got another assistant superintendent. We got a bunch of people out there. Oh, wait a minute. They got to do GCs too.
Yeah, they do.
I bet none of them heard anything I just said.
Yeah. I'm not betting you.
4 project managers, a superintendent, and 3 assistants. 12.
And so they each have their job. But I heard the superintendent was to manage the field, and the project manager was to administrate the office, yeah, and kind of be the administratively manage. The superintendent field manages. I wish more of this group would go into being superintendents. To me, that's one of the biggest problems that we have, is that historically, traditionally, the superintendents came up through the trades because they needed to know how things went together. We have a couple of superintendents within our organization. That's more than that now, isn't it? Yeah, we probably have, it's probably a quarter, 25% have degrees like yours. And then these assistants. They're just helping the manager, project manager, and the superintendent do their job. They have to do a lot of the paperwork. And then the role of the Preconstruction Manager. This is my title, Preconstruction Manager. And all I do is kind of facilitate. That's a good word. Facilitate everything that gets us up to start. So as soon as we start construction, I'm off and doing another thing. A little vague, but it's fun.
What are pre-construction services?
Question is, what are pre-construction services? Definitely, estimating is one of them. But for Tellefson, estimating is a separate department. Okay? So a big part of what I do, and this is my pitch when we're in front of clients, is I quarterback all of the resources of Tellefson. We have a very departmental company. Project controls, operations, safety, quality, estimating, risk management. I mean, we have a lot of these kingdoms, accounting. And so my job is to coordinate the quality control reviews, help package all the estimates into something that's attractive, work through permit issues, work through the utility companies, keep the estimators in line, because that's a full-time job. So it's very, each project's a little bit differently. I can't do all our projects. You know, it depends on the people and the teams. Okay?
So pre-construction services are estimating, quality control, safety plan. I mean, what kind of pre-construction, because that's part of our project, we have to come up with a cost for pre-construction.
Can you hear Ray's question? It's a great question. You have to come up with a cost for pre-construction. It's one of those forms that you have to fill out. And we have seen some real doozy responses on this project in the past 2 semesters, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
You never are going to get paid what you think it's worth. Is that fair? If I put all the man hours we have to spend to get the health and biomedical to construction, we probably didn't get paid for 15%. Chargeable, billable hours, okay? It just, you can't, you won't get paid. You won't get paid for what you think it's worth. So it's really a judgment. It's a gut call. I mean, that would be a good topic to research the internet on. What is a reasonable pre-construction cost? Because I've put 0 there before. And the response was, well, that's not acceptable because you get what you pay for. Right? So then, all right, I'll show the next one. We put what we thought it would cost, and the response back was, are you kidding me? For pre-construction?
So you're telling me that a lot of times you're going to recoup 15% of what you spent on pre-construction. So what are you doing? I mean, besides estimating quality control, safety plan?
It's all man hours. You're not doing bricks and mortar. You're doing everything required to get it to start. So
Specifically, David, to answer your question,
David, no, I don't.
it can entail time for your superintendent to do a constructability review, okay? To make sure that the building can be constructed in the best efficient manner. It can have time for your estimator to run numbers as the architect is designing the building. Because the architect's going to want to know, and the owner's going to want to know, well, are we putting too much into this, or are we still on budget? Okay? It could be time for your project exec, because as we talked about with the cost influence curve, your ability to impact the cost is far greater in the beginning. So it's just how many FTEs or full-time employees, equivalencies, for each one of these positions do you devote to that review? Okay? So what you do is you take a look at if design's going to be 9 months, if it's a CM&R and they've already done preliminary design and it's going to be 9 months, then you've got to figure out how much time you think it's going to take of each one of these people and whether or not all they're involved.
Estimator's time or 50% of the
Right.
safety guy's time.
And there is no magic answer.
Yeah.
It's a business decision.
If you hired an attorney, any idea how you would pay that attorney?
By the hour.
By the hour. He would say, okay, David, I'm going to represent you, and it's going to cost you $750 an hour. So every hour that he was working on your cause, talking on the telephone, whatever, oh, let's go out and play golf. He'd probably charge you 5 hours or 6 hours, $750 to play golf with him. It's just the way they are. A registered professional is, a doctor, a lawyer, architects, engineers. Architects and engineers charge their time on a per-hour basis. Our business, we don't get to do that. So the only way our people make money is if they're doing what?
Projects.
They're doing projects. They're out in the field building something. That's the only way we make our money. We generate revenue. Every day that goes by and something happens, revenue is generated. The rest of it, my time standing right here, I'm getting paid to be here. He's getting paid to be here. Are we building anything for Tellefson? What is that? What is the fact that we're getting paid standing right here, not building? What is that called? Overhead. That's called overhead. Very good.
Well, it's probably going to cost me a round of golf.
Now,
We're investing.
the reality is,
Jobs in the future.
I got to the office at 5 o'clock this morning, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm on my own time. The role of a quality assurance, quality control person. Any idea who that person is? Come on, most of these people are seniors, aren't they?
Yeah.
Don't they? I mean, you could be doing any of this stuff. QC, QA, Coordinator or / inspector. What does this person do?
Make sure it's done.
They're making sure. I heard that word. What else?
Being put in is per spec.
Per spec. Are they doing anything? What are they doing? They're checking other people. What have we come to? Did we always have quality control?
No.
We did. That's what's happening. This is what. Oh, now I'm gonna get on the soapbox. You got to
Here's
get on the
soapbox
soapbox.
coming.
We got to have people that check to make sure people are doing what they said they were going to do. Right? Whatever. Safety. Safety personnel. And I think I'm losing you. What does a safety guy do? I mean, that's one of the people we expect to see in the interview. One of your team members is going to be levied with this responsibility. I am the safety director for, what was some of the names? I forgot. Whatever construction. And you better be able to talk like you're a safety director. Because anything that comes out of your mouth, guess what? It's fair game, and I'll be listening. Yeah, I want you to be nervous. I want you to be nervous when you get up there. Every word that comes out of your mouth, you better have rehearsed it and know what you're saying. All you guys. Right? Next. Okay, now we're getting into nuts and bolts. General conditions. Kind of already started talking about that. What are GCs? Definition. I bet the freshman class would have more of an answer than huh?
Multiple
Trailer.
Definitely. All the stuff that you need to execute the project.
I love it. All the stuff you need to execute the work. I got another way of saying it. It's everything but bricks and mortar. You know what that means? So at the end of the day, at the end of the job, what's going to happen to it? It's gone.
It's going to demobilize.
It's gone. That's right. You rented it, you used it, and then when you finish, it's gone. Anybody got any idea of how we go about setting this up for your proposal?
About time.
Definitely. Without time, you can't come up with this answer. Does that make sense? So, to answer this question, do you think that you can just do that first and then go into the schedule? No, it's exactly opposite. You better have a schedule and then you can start figuring this kind of stuff out. Staging plan. You have to do this, right? For health and biomedical sciences. Let me give you a hint. Go look on Google Earth, right? You ever noticed on Google Earth they have that little time bar? Any of you seen that? You can slide it back. You can see what the site looked like before we got there. Slide it, maybe not that much, but you can see how much equipment we had out there. Maybe some of you are here when we were still building it. That's what you're trying to explain here with the staging plan, is how you plan on using University of Houston's property, because they're giving you care and custody of that site during construction.
So like a lay-down yard,
It's like
places to...
Any temporary roads, any security guards, any off-site parking,
Entrance exits.
all that stuff. Stormwater stuff, sometimes that's even in GCs. But again, you have to go back to the proposal to see what they define it as. Because remember, you are competing for the right to be the #1 and get your picture taken with Lana and go up on the website and all that good stuff. Whoever's the winning team competed for the right to stand next to Lana and have her picture taken and go on the website and all that good stuff.
We go
Okay.
to Disney World.
Yeah, you go to Disney World.